When everyone else loses control, you stay grounded. When tempers rise, your voice lowers. When the world rushes, you slow down. That's not weakness, that's power. This is the psychology of unshakable calm, the ability to remain centered when everyone else is collapsing under noise, pressure, and emotion. You don't get calm by luck. You build it through discipline, through awareness, through the refusal to react. Because calm is not something you feel. Calm is something you decide. Chapter 1, Calm is control, not compliance. Calm isn't weakness. Calm isn't surrender. Calm isn't silence because you're afraid to speak. Calm is control. And control is power. That's the truth most people miss. They think calm people are passive. They think quiet people are easy to dominate. They mistake self-restraint for submission. But here's the reality. The calm person always wins. Because the calm person always controls themselves. And whoever controls themselves, controls the situation. You have a choice, to be reactive or to be composed. And every time you choose calm, you choose power. Let's start here. Every argument you've ever lost, every opportunity you've ever fumbled, every emotional spiral you've ever fallen into, happened because you reacted instead of responded. You gave up control. You handed your emotional steering wheel to someone else. When they raised their voice, you raised yours. When they insulted you, you defended yourself. When they rushed, you panicked. And in that moment, you lost authority. Because you let them dictate your state. That's what reactive people never understand. They think yelling makes them strong. They think arguing makes them right. They think volume equals conviction. But the loudest person in the room is always the most insecure. And the calmest person in the room is always the most dangerous. That's the key. Look at the most respected people in any field, soldiers, surgeons, negotiators, CEOs. They don't panic. They don't flinch. They don't chase noise. They breathe. They think. Then they act. A surgeon doesn't scream when the patient's heart rate spikes. A pilot doesn't panic when turbulence hits. A leader doesn't lose their composure when chaos erupts. Why? Because panic never solves the problem. Panic is the problem. And that's where calm becomes a form of dominance. Calm creates order. Calm commands attention. Calm builds trust. People follow the calm one, not because they're louder, but because they're stable. In every conflict, the calm person is the anchor. They dictate the rhythm. They set the emotional tone. They decide how deep or how shallow the chaos will go. That's not compliance, that's command. So let's redefine calm right now. Calm isn't avoiding conflict. Calm is mastering conflict without losing control of yourself. You don't need their permission to stay centered. You don't need validation to stay grounded. You don't need to match someone else's energy just to prove you're strong. Strength doesn't imitate chaos. Strength contains it. Let me make it practical. Next time someone raises their voice, don't match it. Lower yours. Next time someone rushes you, slow down. Next time you're provoked, pause. Those micro moments are your power tests. Because calm is not a personality trait, it's a discipline. You train calm like a muscle. You build it rep by rep, moment by moment, until composure becomes your default state. And yes, it takes effort. It takes rewiring your instincts. Because your brain is built for reaction. It wants to fight, flee, or freeze. That's your survival system. It's ancient. But in the modern world, reacting like an animal doesn't make you safer, it makes you weaker. You have to evolve past it. You have to outdiscipline your biology. You don't need to be emotionless, you just need to be in charge of your emotions. That's the real art of calm. It's not about pretending you don't feel anger or fear. It's about deciding how and when to express them. You have a choice. Every single time. When someone cuts you off in traffic, you can rage, or you can breathe. When someone insults you, you can argue, or you can observe. When life blindsides you, you can collapse, or you can compose. That's the choice that defines your power. And let's be honest, most people are slaves to their emotions. They call it authenticity. They call it keeping it real. But what they're really saying is, I have no control. They think calm people are suppressing something. No. Calm people are mastering something. It's not about suppression. It's about precision. You don't waste energy on things that don't move you forward. You don't spend emotional currency on temporary feelings. You don't let every minor inconvenience shake your foundation. Because when you're calm, you think clearly. And when you think clearly, you make power moves. That's why calm people are lethal in negotiation. That's why calm leaders dominate meetings. That's why calm athletes perform when everyone else cracks. Calm is the highest form of preparation. It means you've trained your system to stay unshaken, no matter what's happening around you. And the more chaos you can stay calm in, the more control you have over your destiny. Let's drill this in with a truth that will change how you live. Your calmness is not for their comfort. It's for your control. When you stay calm, you're not making them comfortable, you're making yourself unbreakable. When you stay calm, you're not being nice, you're being strategic. When you stay calm, you're not surrendering, you're conserving energy for the next precise move. Because calm is not about avoiding conflict. Calm is about dominating conflict with clarity. The people who keep reacting emotionally, they burn out. They drain themselves. They make impulsive decisions that cost them time, money, and respect. The calm ones? They win slowly, quietly, consistently. They build influence by staying predictable. They build trust by staying level-headed. They build power by being the only person who doesn't lose it when everyone else does. That's not compliance. That's control. Here's what you need to do from this chapter onward. Start catching your triggers. Notice the moment your body starts to tense. That's your cue. Breathe. Pause. Don't act until the tension fades. Lower your voice intentionally. The next time someone raises theirs, lower yours. You'll immediately shift the power dynamic. Calm isn't silence, it's command. Decide your state before the world does. Each morning, before you pick up your phone, decide, I control my emotional tone today. Repeat it. That single sentence builds psychological armor. That's the formula. That's how you become unshakable. Because calm is not the absence of emotion. It's the presence of control. And remember, you have a choice. You can keep reacting to every external storm. Or you can become the storm center, still, composed, immovable. That's the power of true calm. Not to submit. Not to retreat, but to dominate through discipline. You've now taken control of your reactions. You've understood that composure is command. But control isn't only external, it's physiological. To master calm in chaos, you must train the system underneath your emotions. Because your body drives your reactions long before your mind catches up. You mastered your reactions. Now it's time to master your wiring. Chapter 2, Your nervous system is the real battlefield. You don't lose control because of what's happening around you. You lose control because of what's happening inside you. Your nervous system, not your thoughts, not your emotions, is the real battlefield. And most people go to war completely untrained. They think stress is mental. It's not. Stress is biological. It's chemistry. It's your body hijacking your brain. When your heart rate spikes, when your breathing shortens, when your muscles tighten, your brain interprets all of that as danger. And when your brain senses danger, logic shuts down. You can't think clearly. You can't listen. You can't lead. That's the moment you lose control. Not because the situation was too big, but because your nervous system was too weak. That's the key. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your regulation. Look around. The people who appear calm under pressure, the ones who can walk through chaos without flinching, they've trained their physiology to obey them. They don't wait for peace to feel calm, they create it. Think about soldiers, surgeons, pilots, or first responders. They aren't fearless, they're trained. Their breathing doesn't change when everyone else is panicking. Their focus stays locked because their bodies have learned the language of control. And that's the part most people miss. You can't think your way to calm, you have to train your way there. Control your body, and your body will control your mind. Say that again. Control your body, and your body will control your mind. Let's get practical. You can train your nervous system like any other muscle. The first tool is your breath. Your breath is the remote control for your body. When you breathe shallow, you tell your brain you're in danger. When you breathe slow and deep, you send the signal, I'm safe. That's not poetry, that's biology. So when stress hits, when the email lands, the argument starts, or the problem explodes, stop. Don't speak yet. Don't react yet. Breathe. Inhale slowly through your nose. Hold it. Exhale longer than you inhaled. That's how you tell your nervous system, we're not dying. We're in control. Because the moment your breath slows, your body calms. And when your body calms, your mind returns. The second tool, posture. Your posture is your physical declaration of authority. If you slump, hunch, or collapse when things get stressful, your body sends one message, we're defeated. But if you lift your chest, drop your shoulders, and hold your spine tall, your brain gets a very different signal, we're leading. You can literally change your emotional state by changing your stance. That's why the best negotiators sit still and upright. That's why the best fighters breathe slowly between strikes. That's why elite performers look composed when chaos breaks out. They're not faking calm, they're signaling it to their own nervous system. The third tool, awareness. You can't control what you don't notice. Most people live disconnected from their bodies. They have no idea how their physiology betrays them. They react first, and only later ask, why did I lose it? Start noticing the warning signs before the breakdown. Your jaw tightening. Your heart racing. Your shoulders tensing. Those are signals, not problems. They're your body's way of asking for leadership. When you learn to hear those signals, you gain options. And every option is a form of control. That's the key. You don't need to suppress emotion, you need to regulate it. Here's the truth. You can't be mentally strong if you're physically chaotic. You can't be emotionally stable if your body's in panic mode. That's why calm begins with biology. Your nervous system is your foundation. You can build confidence, focus, and strength on top of it, but without regulation, it all collapses under pressure. If you want unshakable calm, stop trying to think positive. Start training your state. You have a choice every day. To live at the mercy of your body, or to teach your body to serve you. Let's apply it in the real world. You walk into a high-pressure meeting. Everyone's tense. You can feel the energy, fast, sharp, anxious. Instead of matching it, slow yourself down. Speak slower. Move slower. Breathe slower. That's how you seize control of the room's nervous system. Because energy follows rhythm. And the calmest person always leads the rhythm. Or take a personal example, an argument. The other person raises their voice. You feel the heat rise in your chest. That's your cue, not to match them, but to master yourself. Drop your shoulders. Loosen your jaw. Exhale through your nose. You're not backing down, you're taking command. You're training your biology to follow your lead, not theirs. That's real strength. Understand this. Calm is not emotional detachment, it's emotional dominance. It's not pretending you don't care, it's controlling when and how you show it. You can be passionate, but not panicked. You can be intense, but not impulsive. That's the difference between power and noise. When you master your nervous system, people feel it. Your presence steadies the environment. Your calm becomes contagious. And that's leadership, not words, not volume, regulation. The goal isn't to never feel stress. The goal is to remain the same person under stress. When you can hold your center while the world spins, you become the anchor everyone else depends on. And that's the mindset that separates those who crumble from those who command. You have a choice, panic with the crowd, or train your body to lead the crowd. Control your body, and your body will control your mind. That's not motivation. That's science. That's power. You've learned the truth, your calm isn't mental, it's physical. You don't win by suppressing your stress. You win by mastering your state. When your nervous system obeys you, chaos becomes irrelevant. Stillness is not luck, it's training. Calm is not compliance, it's command. You've just taken back control of your biology. Now it's time to expand that control to your environment. Because once you master your own body, the next level is mastering your boundaries. Chapter 3, Reaction is Weakness in Disguise. Reaction feels powerful. It feels alive. It feels like control. But it's not. Reaction is weakness in disguise. Reaction is fear wearing confidence like a cheap mask. The need to react fast, to defend, to prove, to clap back, doesn't come from power. It comes from panic. You react fast because you're afraid. Afraid to lose control. Afraid to be ignored. Afraid to look wrong. And every time you react instantly, you hand over your power to the situation, or to the person who provoked you. You think you're asserting control, but you're actually surrendering it. That's the key. The world trains you to react. Social media thrives on reaction. Conflict thrives on reaction. Manipulators thrive on reaction. They bait you, and the second you take the bait, you've lost. But when you pause, when you hold that split second of stillness before responding, you flip the script completely. That pause is the power gap. That pause is where dominance lives. That pause is where control begins. Let's get clear about this. Reaction is not strength. Reaction is submission to impulse. When you react, you don't act, something acts through you. You're not leading, you're being led by emotion, ego, or fear. Real strength is delayed reaction. Masters don't move first, they observe first. You see this in every high-pressure profession. A surgeon doesn't flinch when a complication appears. They breathe. They assess. Then they act. A fighter doesn't swing wild the moment he gets hit. He stays composed. He studies his opponent. Then he strikes clean. A leader doesn't reply instantly to an insult or a crisis. They pause. They gather data. Then they choose the right move, not the fastest one. That's discipline. That's mastery. And that's what separates amateurs from professionals, reaction versus regulation. You have a choice. Every time something triggers you, you're standing at a crossroads. Option 1, you react and lose control. Option 2, you pause and gain control. That's the key. Because that pause, that small window between stimulus and response, is where your entire life changes. That's the difference between escalation and composure. Between chaos and calm. Between regret and respect. When you pause, you remind yourself, I decide how this goes. No one can take that from you. Not a comment. Not a crisis. Not a person trying to get under your skin. They can trigger your emotion, but only you can choose your reaction. And that's where your true power lives. Let's make it practical. How do you build this pause? How do you train it until it becomes automatic? It starts with awareness. You can't stop what you don't see coming. Most people only realize they reacted after the damage is done, after they said something impulsive, sent the angry message, or made a decision out of fear. So step 1 is to feel the trigger rise. That heat in your chest. That urge to interrupt. That tension in your hands. When you feel it, don't suppress it. Recognize it. Name it. Okay, I feel the pull to react. And then, breathe. Because breath buys time. And time creates choice. Every deep exhale lowers your body's alarm system. Every pause breaks the cycle. Every slow response signals authority, to your mind and to everyone watching. You're not ignoring the problem, you're commanding it. Here's the truth. In every power dynamic, the first person to lose composure loses control. People who react fast get controlled easily. They reveal their insecurities. They expose their priorities. They show exactly which buttons to push next time. You teach people how to manipulate you by how fast you react. That's the hard truth. If someone knows your triggers, they can control your mood, your focus, even your decisions. All they have to do is provoke you, and watch you dance. But the moment you stop reacting, the moment you stay still when they expect an explosion, the game changes. They lose their grip. You reclaim your frame. Because calm always wins. Remember this. The calm person isn't detached. They're disciplined. They're not ignoring what happened. They're deciding what it deserves. That's what makes them dangerous in the best way. Reaction is noise. Discipline is signal. Anyone can yell. Anyone can post. Anyone can argue. But it takes mastery to pause and say, no. I'll move when I decide. That's power. That's control. That's leadership. You might be wondering, won't people mistake my calm for weakness? Maybe. At first. But then they'll realize something else. You can't be manipulated. You can't be baited. You can't be pulled off course. And that's terrifying to those who rely on reaction to feel powerful. Because when they can't provoke you, they lose their leverage. They lose their rhythm. They lose the upper hand. That's why stillness is strength. That's why the pause is your secret weapon. Pause before you pounce. That's the power gap. You have to train this every day. In small ways. Because life is full of tiny provocations designed to steal your composure. The traffic that cuts you off. The coworker who takes credit. The friend who ignores your message. The random stranger online throwing shade. Each one is a test. Each one is asking, can I make you react? And every time you pass that test, you build a stronger foundation of control. You're not avoiding confrontation, you're controlling its timing. You're not bottling emotion, you're mastering its release. That's the difference between suppression and strength. It's not about pretending you don't care. It's about caring strategically. You have a choice. You can live as a puppet to your emotions, or as a master of your response. You can let the world dictate your mood, or dictate the tone of your own life. That's the discipline of emotional dominance. That's the psychology of unshakable calm. Because when you no longer react to everything, you control everything. Stillness isn't passive, it's predatory. Patience isn't weakness, it's preparation. The pause is not empty, it's loaded. That's what amateurs never understand. They chase speed. Masters chase precision. And precision comes from restraint. Pause before you pounce. That's the power gap. Say it again. Let it burn into your thinking. Because that phrase, that principle, will change how you move, how you lead, how you live. You've learned now that calm is not compliance, it's control. And that control begins in your body and extends into your reactions. But there's another level of mastery, protecting that calm from external chaos, from people, habits, and environments that drain your energy. You've built inner control. Now it's time to defend it. You mastered your reactions. Now, let's talk about the force field that keeps your calm intact. Chapter 4, Emotional Detachment is Emotional Mastery. Most people misunderstand detachment. They think detachment means apathy. They think it means being cold, emotionless, unfeeling. They're wrong. Detachment isn't about shutting off your emotions. It's about mastering them. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care intelligently. That's the key. Because when you're emotionally entangled with everything, with what people think, with how things turn out, with whether you're liked or not, you're easy to control. You become emotionally blackmailed by the world. A puppet pulled by invisible strings of validation and fear. The calm mind, the unshakable mind, cuts those strings one by one. Not by becoming heartless, but by becoming selective. You choose what deserves your emotional energy. You choose where your peace goes. You have a choice. Always. Let's be real. You've probably been told to let it go more times than you can count. But detachment isn't letting it go. It's letting it be. It's refusing to chase every outcome like your life depends on it. It's refusing to hinge your happiness on other people's behavior. It's refusing to give away emotional rent space to people who haven't earned it. Detach to see clearly. Detach to act precisely. When you're attached, your emotions distort your vision. You start seeing what you want to see instead of what's really there. You cling to outcomes because you're afraid of loss. Attachment blinds you. Detachment frees you. That's the power. Think about it. When you're attached to a specific result, getting the job, winning the argument, being praised, you lose perspective. You act from desperation, not discipline. You overthink, overreact, overreach. You chase validation instead of clarity. And the world can feel it. People can sense when your calm is dependent on their response. The truly powerful person is the one who can walk away, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and still stay centered. Because detachment isn't distance. It's dominance. It's control over your inner landscape no matter what storm is raging outside. That's mastery. Let's get practical. How do you build emotional detachment without becoming numb or robotic? You train it like any other skill, through awareness, boundaries, and practice. Step 1, Awareness. Notice when your mood depends on things you can't control. Notice when you're checking your phone for a message that hasn't come. Notice when you're overanalyzing someone's tone or silence. Every time you catch yourself doing that, pause. Breathe. Remind yourself, I can't control this, but I can control me. You're not suppressing emotion. You're redirecting energy. That's the discipline. Step 2, Boundaries. Detachment is built through separation, physical, mental, and emotional. If someone constantly drains you, step back. If a situation constantly triggers you, step out. It's not about cutting people off. It's about cutting the attachment that keeps you in cycles of reaction. Boundaries are how you protect your calm. You don't owe constant access to anyone. You don't need to explain your peace. You don't need their permission. Step 3, Practice. Detachment grows through repetition. Each time you choose not to react, not to chase, not to explain, you strengthen the muscle. At first, it'll feel uncomfortable. Your ego will scream for attention. Your emotions will demand action. But that's just withdrawal from old habits of attachment. Stay still. Stay disciplined. Because every time you resist that urge to control everything, you reclaim your power. You have to understand this, attachment is fear disguised as love. We cling because we're afraid of losing. We obsess because we're afraid of being forgotten. We overinvest emotionally because we think it gives us control. But the paradox is clear. The more attached you are, the less control you have. The tighter you grip, the faster things slip away. Detach to see clearly. Detach to act precisely. When you detach, you can finally observe reality for what it is, not what you wish it was. You can make clean decisions instead of emotional ones. You can love people without depending on them for your stability. You can pursue goals without destroying your peace. That's real freedom. Not a life without emotion, but a life where emotion obeys you. Let's talk about how this shows up in the real world. You're in a heated argument. Your emotions want to win. Your ego wants the last word. But if you're detached, you don't need victory, you want clarity. You don't argue to dominate, you speak to understand or to exit with dignity. That's strength. You're working hard for a goal, but things don't go your way. The deal falls through. the opportunity disappears. If you're attached, you spiral. If you're detached, you adapt. You analyze, you learn, and you move. Because you know something crucial. Failure can't break you when your identity isn't attached to outcomes. That's the secret of every elite performer, every stoic thinker, every calm warrior. They care deeply, but they don't cling emotionally. They act with conviction, not desperation. That's emotional mastery. Here's what most people don't realize. You can love fully and still stay detached. You can give your all without needing control. You can care without craving validation. Because detachment doesn't drain emotion, it purifies it. It removes the insecurity, the obsession, the noise. You stop loving for approval and start loving from abundance. You stop acting for recognition and start acting from purpose. That's the upgrade. When you're detached, you become impossible to manipulate. The world can't use your feelings against you anymore. Guilt doesn't work. Fear doesn't work. Approval doesn't work. You've become emotionally untouchable, not because you're empty, but because you're anchored. That's power. That's peace. Detached to see clearly. Detached to act precisely. Say it again. Feel it. Let it sink in. Because this isn't a mindset, it's a way of life. You have a choice every single day. You can let your emotions run your decisions. Or you can run your emotions like a leader. You can live as a slave to validation. Or you can live as a master of internal peace. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. It's not about ignoring people. It's about prioritizing peace. It's not about cutting connection. It's about cutting control. That's emotional detachment. And that's emotional mastery. When you detach, you finally see the game for what it is. You stop trying to win people. You start winning yourself. You stop trying to predict the future. You start responding to the present. That's the shift. Detach, not to withdraw, but to rise above. Detach, not to escape, but to see the full board clearly. That's what masters do. That's what leaders live. That's what peace actually feels like. You've learned now how to master your body, your reactions, and your emotions. You've learned that calm isn't compliance, it's control. And that detachment is not disconnection, it's direction. But there's another layer of power waiting, one that turns calm into influence, and stillness into command. You've mastered emotional control. Now, it's time to learn how to project it. You built inner peace. Now, let's make it visible. Chapter 5, The Discipline of Neutral Thinking. Most people are addicted to emotional exaggeration. They don't see things as they are, they see them as they feel. And that's the root of their chaos. Something happens, and they instantly label it. This is terrible. This is amazing. This is unfair. This is the end. Every emotional label is a distortion. Every exaggeration adds noise to the signal. Calm people don't live like that. Calm people don't react to emotion, they respond to information. They don't dramatize. They don't catastrophize. They analyze. They don't chase stories. They process data. That's the key. When you strip emotion away from a moment, you see it clearly. You can finally separate what happened from what you think it means. And that separation, that space between stimulus and story, is where power begins. Neutral is the new powerful. Most people lose control because they overlabel life. They call every obstacle a disaster. They call every challenge too hard. They call every delay failure. And the brain believes the label. When you call something a disaster, your body reacts as if it's the end of the world. Your heart races. Your breathing quickens. Your vision narrows. You're no longer in control, your biology is. You've surrendered the frame. You don't need to do that anymore. Because the truth is, nothing has meaning until you assign it. The situation is not good or bad. It's neutral. It's not personal. It's just information. It's not emotional. It's data. And data doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about accuracy. That's the level of mental discipline calm requires. To look at a storm and say, interesting. To lose an opportunity and say, noted. To face rejection and say, that's data. That's power. You have a choice. Every single day, you can train your mind to stay neutral or let it spiral into noise. Most people live in emotional extremes, highs that feel like heaven and lows that feel like hell. And because they live in those extremes, they never find center. Neutral thinking is that center. It's not denial. It's discipline. It's not pretending you don't feel, it's refusing to drown in what you feel. The neutral thinker asks, what are the facts? Not, how do I feel about this? Feelings fluctuate. Facts don't. When you anchor yourself in facts, your emotions become a background sound instead of a siren. They inform you, but they don't control you. That's the practice. Let's take an example. You go for a promotion and don't get it. An emotional thinker says, "I failed. I'm not good enough. They don't value me." A neutral thinker says, "Someone else was chosen. Why? What can I learn? What's next?" See the difference? One is a prisoner of story. The other is a student of reality. The emotional mind takes rejection personally. The neutral mind takes it as feedback. That's how high performers operate. That's how soldiers, athletes, and leaders stay calm under fire. They don't label, they measure. They don't judge, they observe. They don't need motivation to stay grounded. They have method. Neutral is the new powerful. Here's the problem: your brain loves drama. It's wired to overreact, to spot threats, to inflate problems, to prepare for the worst. That might have kept your ancestors alive, but it's ruining your modern peace. You have to train your brain to stay calm under pressure by removing judgment from your thoughts. That's the discipline. When something stressful happens, don't rush to label it. Pause. Ask, what's actually happening right now? Describe it like an outsider would. No emotion. No exaggeration. Just observation. Instead of, "They disrespected me," try, "They interrupted me." Instead of, "Everything is falling apart," try, "Plans are changing." Instead of, "This is a nightmare," try, "This is uncomfortable." Notice how those phrases feel different in your body. The first ones trigger panic. The second ones invite clarity. Language creates reality. And the language of neutrality creates calm. Neutral thinking doesn't mean indifference. It means accuracy. It means living in truth, not stories. It's about staying centered when everyone else is spinning. Because here's the truth: your emotional reactions are rarely about what's happening, they're about your interpretation of it. You think someone's tone is disrespectful. You think a delay means failure. You think silence means rejection. You think. But you don't know. And that's the trap. Neutrality forces you to slow down and separate assumptions from facts. It gives you the space to respond instead of react. That space, that pause, is where calm lives. That's the gap that separates chaos from composure. You have a choice to live in that gap. Here's a method you can use: simple, repeatable, powerful. It's called the 3-step neutral reset. Step 1, state the facts. What happened? Not your opinion. Not your emotion. The raw event. Example: the meeting was canceled. Step 2, identify your story. What am I telling myself about what happened? Example: they canceled because they don't value me. Step 3, return to neutrality. What else could be true? Example: they canceled because something urgent came up. I can reschedule. Facts first. Feelings second. That's how you stay calm under pressure. That's how you keep your power. Neutral thinking doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means not coloring it with panic. It means not jumping to conclusions. It means controlling the story your mind tells itself. Because if you don't, your mind will always choose drama. Think of elite performers, surgeons, pilots, negotiators. They can't afford emotional bias. A surgeon who panics kills the patient. A pilot who dramatizes turbulence loses control. A negotiator who reacts emotionally loses leverage. They're trained to think in data, not drama. They've mastered the art of neutrality. That's what separates professionals from amateurs. Emotion makes you sloppy. Neutrality makes you sharp. And that's something you can train. Every time something happens that spikes your emotion, pause and ask, what are the facts? What's my story? What's the neutral truth? Do it enough, and neutrality becomes your default setting. You'll start feeling calm where you used to feel chaos. You'll start responding where you used to react. You'll start living as the observer, not the victim. Neutral is the new powerful. Neutral thinking is emotional armor. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means you don't fracture. It's the bridge between emotion and execution. It's how you make clear decisions in high-pressure moments. And once you master it, you stop being tossed by every wave. You ride them. Because when you remove judgment, you remove fear. When you remove exaggeration, you remove overwhelm. When you remove drama, you reclaim clarity. That's the essence of calm. Not the absence of emotion, the presence of control. You've learned how to detach from emotion, how to train your body, how to master your reactions. Now, you've learned how to think neutrally, to process data, not drama. But there's one more layer to becoming unshakable. It's not just how you think, it's how you move through the world. You mastered internal calm. Now, it's time to master external rhythm. You've conquered neutrality. Next, we dive into flow. Chapter 6, Never Mirror Chaos. When others raise their voice, you lower yours. When others rush, you slow down. When others panic, you anchor. That's how calm people win. That's how leaders lead. You see, chaos is contagious, but so is composure. The question is, which one are you spreading? Most people mirror energy. They absorb it, reflect it, amplify it. Someone yells, they yell back. Someone hurries, they hurry too. Someone panics, and suddenly everyone's heart is racing. That's how weak people live, at the mercy of other people's moods. But not you. You're learning the discipline of control. You're training to hold your ground when everyone else is losing theirs. Because here's the truth, mirroring chaos gives away leadership. Every time you react, you hand over power. Every time you mirror someone's storm, you lose your center. And every time you lose your center, you lose direction. Your emotions should not be a reflection of others, they should be a reflection of your standards. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Think about what a thermometer does. It reacts. It measures whatever temperature it's given. Now think about what a thermostat does. It sets the temperature. It establishes the environment. That's the difference between average and elite. Average people react. Elite people regulate. When the room gets hot, they stay cool. When the crowd gets loud, they get quieter. When the world shakes, they become still. That's leadership. That's emotional dominance. And that's the key, you set the tone, or the tone sets you. Let's make this practical. Picture this, you're in a meeting, and tension rises. Voices get sharp. Egos flare. Everyone's trying to win the argument. You feel your pulse rise. Your instincts tell you to jump in, to prove your point, to match their energy. Stop. Breathe. Observe. That's the moment where leaders separate themselves. The weak mirror the noise. The strong control the signal. You slow your breathing. You lower your tone. You speak fewer words, but each one lands harder. You don't match emotion. You master it. Because calm people aren't passive, they're precise. And in chaos, precision is power. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Every chaotic environment is a test. Not of intelligence, but of composure. Chaos asks, can I shake you? Calm answers, not today. You have a choice. Every single time. When someone pushes your buttons, you can react, or you can reset. When someone loses control, you can follow, or you can lead. That's the key, chaos is an invitation, not a command. You don't have to join someone in their storm. You can stay on the shore. In fact, that's exactly what great leaders do. Think about it, the best commanders, coaches, surgeons, negotiators. They all share one trait, stillness under stress. They don't mirror panic, they create order. That's not natural. That's trained. You train it by refusing to react. By practicing presence when your body wants to explode. By mastering tone when the world is losing its voice. That's emotional strength in its purest form. Here's a truth most people don't realize. When chaos hits, people are not looking for the loudest person, they're looking for the calmest. Because calm equals confidence. Calm equals control. Calm equals safety. People naturally follow the most composed energy in the room. That means when everyone's losing it, you don't need to dominate, you just need to stay grounded. You don't have to shout to lead. You just have to be steady. Because steadiness is rare. And rare becomes magnetic. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. Let's talk about what happens when you mirror chaos. When you mirror chaos, you magnify it. You give it more energy. You become part of the problem. If someone's angry and you respond with anger, you've just confirmed their state. If someone's anxious and you meet them with more anxiety, you double the fear. But when you stay calm, truly calm, you become the interruption. You become the break in the pattern. And that's when things start to shift. Because chaos needs cooperation to survive. Without your reaction, it dies. That's power. Your stillness becomes the storm's end. So how do you train this? Here's the discipline, practice reverse energy. When someone speeds up, slow down. When someone raises their tone, lower yours. When someone gets defensive, stay open. This isn't weakness. It's mastery. You're not letting them win. You're teaching them what control looks like. Every interaction is a mirror. The question is, who's setting the reflection? If they set the pace, you're a follower. If you set the tone, you're the leader. So train yourself to regulate the emotional temperature wherever you are. Be intentional with your pace, your breathing, your words, your presence. Because the loudest energy doesn't win, the most stable one does. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. In relationships, this principle changes everything. When your partner is emotional, don't mirror it. Listen. Hold your center. You can't help someone rise if you fall with them. In business, it's the same. When the market shakes, when your team panics, when plans fall apart, your job is to stay steady. Your calm communicates belief. And belief stabilizes chaos. In life, chaos is constant. But composure? That's a choice. Now listen carefully. This isn't about pretending nothing bothers you. It's about refusing to be controlled by what bothers you. It's not about suppressing emotion, it's about channeling it. Not about apathy, about authority. You decide what emotion deserves your energy. You decide what chaos gets your reaction. And that's real power, selective reaction. You don't respond to everything. You don't mirror everyone. You hold your own frequency, and make the world adjust to it. That's leadership. That's calm. That's control. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. When chaos walks into the room, remember this. You set the temperature. You don't need to match their panic. You don't need to validate their outrage. You don't need to join their storm. You just hold your ground. Because grounded people change rooms. They slow the energy. They steady the noise. They remind everyone what composure looks like. And when you master this, when you stop mirroring chaos, life stops controlling you. You stop reacting. You start directing. You stop absorbing noise. You start creating peace. You stop being a passenger. You start being the pilot. That's what this chapter is about, emotional authority. When others lose their rhythm, you keep yours. When others scatter, you stay still. When others spiral, you anchor. Because that's what strength looks like in a chaotic world. Stillness. Precision. Presence. Be the thermostat, not the thermometer. You've learned how to stay neutral. You've learned how to hold composure when the world tests you. But calm isn't just a mental state, it's also a signal. It communicates something deeper, self-respect. Because when you refuse to mirror chaos, you're saying, I decide how I show up. No one else does. That's self-command. That's dominance through discipline. You've built the foundation of calm. Now, it's time to build on it, to project that calm through your presence. You mastered not reacting. Now, let's master commanding respect without words. You controlled the storm. Now it's time to command the room. Chapter 7, The Art of Internal Separation. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the observer behind both. That's the secret. That's the art of internal separation. Most people never learn this. They think every thought that enters their head is truth. They think every emotion they feel is reality. So they suffer, not because life is unbearable, but because their identification is. They don't separate who they are from what they feel. They confuse a passing storm for permanent weather. But calm people, truly unshakable people, they understand something most never will. You can feel an emotion without becoming it. You can think a thought without obeying it. That's emotional maturity. That's real control. That's the key. The distance between thought and response, that's where mastery lives. That's where peace is born. But here's the problem, most people have no distance at all. A thought appears, they react. An emotion rises, they obey. An impulse hits, they follow. They live as slaves to internal noise. You have to break that chain. You have to reclaim the space between stimulus and response. That's where your power is. Because calm doesn't come from silence around you, it comes from silence within you. Observe. Don't absorb. Let's get real for a moment. Your mind will throw you thoughts you don't agree with. Your emotions will surge in directions you can't predict. That's human. You can't control what appears inside you, but you can control what you attach to. Attachment is the real problem. You grab a thought and hold it like it's gospel. You feel anger and decide it defines you. You feel fear and treat it like prophecy. That's how suffering starts, by confusing internal activity with identity. But listen, your thoughts are not commands. Your emotions are not truth. They're weather patterns. They come. They go. You don't need to fight them. You just need to stop fusing with them. Observe. Don't absorb. Here's what internal separation looks like in practice. Someone insults you. The first reaction? Anger. You feel it rise, hot, fast, automatic. But instead of speaking from it, you see it. You name it silently, that's anger. In that moment, you create distance. You're not angry. You're aware of anger. That's the difference between control and chaos. Because when you observe emotion, it loses power. When you name it, you contain it. Awareness is control. That's the discipline. Not denial. Not repression. Observation. That's how you lead yourself before you lead anyone else. Understand this, your mind is a storyteller. It creates narratives 24/7, most of them false. It says, they don't respect you. You're not good enough. You're falling behind. And if you don't practice internal separation, you'll believe every word. But you can choose to watch that story instead of living inside it. You can say, that's an anxious thought. You can say, that's a defensive story. You can say, that's fear trying to protect me. And suddenly, you're no longer drowning in it. You're standing above it, watching the waves instead of being thrown by them. That's power. That's calm. That's clarity. Observe. Don't absorb. Here's the truth, your nervous system can't tell the difference between imagination and reality. If your mind believes chaos, your body reacts to it. That's why people are always exhausted, they're constantly fighting battles that only exist in their heads. But when you separate from your thoughts, when you stop merging with every emotion, your system relaxes. Your breathing deepens. Your shoulders drop. You stop fighting shadows. That's not denial, that's discernment. It's not about ignoring emotions. It's about managing your relationship with them. You have a choice. Every time a thought appears, you can engage or observe. Every time emotion rises, you can wrestle or witness. That's the key. Observe. Don't absorb. So how do you train this skill? Because yes, it's a skill. One that takes daily repetition to master. Step 1. Label your thoughts. Throughout your day, when a strong thought hits, pause and name it. This is fear. This is judgment. This is comparison. When you name it, you separate from it. You transform chaos into clarity. Step 2. Label your sensations. When you feel emotion rising, don't identify, investigate. What does this feel like in my body? Where do I feel tension? Is this anger, or is this fear in disguise? Awareness turns reaction into data. And remember, data isn't drama. Step 3. Respond, don't react. Never move while the emotional fog is still thick. Pause. Breathe. Let the first wave pass. Then decide from clarity, not compulsion. That's internal separation in action. That's emotional precision. You have to understand, detachment isn't coldness. It's wisdom. It's not about shutting off your feelings. It's about not letting them drive your life. Because emotions are signals, not sentences. They're feedback, not fate. And thoughts? Thoughts are possibilities, not promises. You can hear them without obeying them. You can feel deeply without losing stability. That's maturity. That's mastery. Observe. Don't absorb. Let's get brutally honest, most people can't stand being alone with their thoughts. They distract themselves because silence makes them face the chaos within. But silence isn't the enemy. It's the mirror. It reflects everything unprocessed, everything you've been avoiding. That's why stillness feels uncomfortable at first, because it exposes the noise. But that's where growth happens. Not in distraction, but in observation. The goal isn't to suppress noise, it's to become so aware of it that it loses its grip. When you can sit in silence and simply watch, without judging, without reacting. That's when you realize you were never the noise. You were always the awareness behind it. And that awareness? It can't be shaken. Observe. Don't absorb. Think of it this way. The sky doesn't panic because of passing clouds. It just watches them move. You're the sky. Your thoughts and emotions are clouds. Let them pass. Let them change shape. Let them drift. Your job isn't to control the clouds, it's to remember you're the sky. That's the art of internal separation. That's what makes you unshakable. You stop being lost in every thought. You stop drowning in every emotion. You stop confusing movement for meaning. You become steady, internally anchored, no matter what storm appears above. That's freedom. That's power. That's calm. Observe. Don't absorb. You've learned how to separate your sense of self from the noise inside you. You've seen that calm isn't the absence of thought, it's mastery over it. Now, it's time to extend that mastery outward. Because once you control your inner world, the next test begins, how you handle other people's energy. Their chaos. Their manipulation. Their emotions projected onto you. You've mastered the observer within. Now, let's master the energy around you. You've conquered your mind. Now conquer your environment. Chapter 8, Routine is the architecture of calm. Calm is not born in crisis. Calm is not a gift from luck. Calm is trained. It's forged in repetition. It's built in structure. It's not about what happens to you, It's about what you do every day before anything happens to you. That's the truth. You cannot rely on chaos to teach you peace. You cannot wait for disaster to show you clarity. Calm is created long before the storm arrives. Routine creates rhythm. Rhythm creates calm. Most people live without order. They wake up with no plan, react to every ping, scroll endlessly, chase deadlines haphazardly. They confuse motion with progress. They confuse busyness with preparation. And then, when stress hits, they crack. When life throws curveballs, they panic. They lose control. But calm people, the unshakable people, they do one thing differently. They design their life to be predictable where it counts. They understand, structure isn't boring. Structure isn't rigidity. Structure is freedom. Think about it. Your mind craves patterns. Your nervous system thrives on predictability. When your body knows what to expect, your brain doesn't waste energy on panic. Morning routines are the first line of defense. Wake up at the same time every day. Move your body. Hydrate. Meditate or journal. Plan the 3 most important tasks for the day. Not because this is fancy. Not because anyone will see it. But because this signals to your brain, I am prepared. I am in control. And when the world tries to pull you off balance, your system is already anchored. Routine creates rhythm. Rhythm creates calm. Consistency is the secret weapon most people ignore. You know someone who seems calm no matter what? They're not magically immune to stress. They've just trained their system to respond predictably. They eat the same kind of breakfast. They exercise. They journal. They work in focused blocks. They sleep on a schedule. It may sound simple. It may sound trivial. But here's the key: trivial consistency beats emergency heroics every time. You don't become calm in crisis. You become calm because your life has prepared your nervous system to handle crisis. Let's break down why repetition matters. Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine. Every habit is a neural pathway. The more you repeat a sequence, waking up, breathing, moving, planning, the stronger that pathway becomes. The stronger the pathway, the less friction your system experiences under pressure. That's why routines aren't optional. That's why structure isn't luxury. It's the architecture of calm. Consider this: soldiers don't wait for battle to practice drills. Pilots don't wait for turbulence to rehearse emergency procedures. Surgeons don't wait for crises to practice sutures. They train. They repeat. They build structure into their daily existence so that when the unexpected hits, chaos is no longer terrifying. It's just another process. That's the same principle for your emotional life. Routine is rehearsal for calm. Daily habits extend beyond the morning. Evening routines matter. Wind down at the same time. Remove distractions. Reflect on the day. Prepare for tomorrow. This simple act signals to your body, the day is ending. I am safe. I am contained. And your nervous system responds, sleep comes easier. Dreams are less turbulent. Your mind rests in preparation for the next day. Sleep isn't just rest. It's emotional consolidation. It's the secret weapon of calm. Now, let's talk about micro-routines throughout the day. Deep breathing at specific intervals. Posture resets. Hydration. Short walks. Intentional pauses before meetings. These are small, almost invisible, to anyone watching. But for you, they are the scaffolding that holds emotional stability in place. Because calm isn't a constant state. It fluctuates. But rhythm, daily, predictable rhythm, keeps the fluctuations manageable. Routine creates rhythm. Rhythm creates calm. Here's the mistake most people make: they overcomplicate. They think calm requires meditation retreats, exotic therapies, or elaborate morning rituals. It doesn't. The point is not perfection. The point is consistency. Even small, consistent acts anchor your system more than any one perfect strategy. 5 minutes of breathing every morning is better than 1 hour once a month. Walking your dog at the same time daily stabilizes your mind more than sporadic gym sessions. Eating on schedule sends more signals of security to your brain than a perfect diet followed inconsistently. Small structures repeated daily build an unshakable foundation. Let's bring it into your mental space. Routine isn't just physical. It's cognitive. Plan your thoughts. Plan your responses. Have frameworks for decisions. Know what you will say in challenging conversations. Know how you will respond to criticism. Know what values you will honor, no matter the pressure. Predictability in mind mirrors predictability in environment. This creates an inner rhythm. This is calm. Now, here's a practical exercise. Identify your anchor points: morning, midday, evening. Define 3 small but consistent actions for each anchor point. Repeat them daily. Track them. No exceptions for at least 30 days. You'll notice 2 things. Your mind begins to anticipate calm. Your body begins to trust that order exists. And when chaos comes, you don't collapse. You don't flail. You operate from your rhythm. Here's the hard truth. Life is inherently unpredictable. People will yell. Traffic will jam. Deadlines will shift. Plans will fail. But when you live within predictable structures, the internal system you carry into every storm is predictable too. That's how calm becomes unshakable. It's not a miracle. It's not luck. It's not innate personality. It's discipline. It's repetition. It's rhythm. Routine creates rhythm. Rhythm creates calm. Remember this. Your day, your habits, your life, they are all a series of choices. You have a choice to wake up and react to chaos, or to anchor yourself in structure. You have a choice to drift through life, or to intentionally build a scaffold for calm. Every repeated action compounds. Every small, predictable habit strengthens your system. Every moment of consistency is an investment in peace. It's not about fancy rituals. It's about daily mastery of the ordinary. It's about training yourself to respond from rhythm, not panic. As you finish this chapter, internalize the mantra. Routine creates rhythm. Rhythm creates calm. This is your blueprint. This is your architecture. Your life is a building. Your habits are the beams. Your rhythms are the walls. Your calm is the roof, strong, stable, unshakable. Master the structure, and you master the storm. You've anchored yourself internally. Now, the next layer awaits, energy management in the presence of external chaos. You've laid the foundation. You've created rhythm. Now, let's protect the calm from the world. Chapter 9, Chaos is a test, not a threat. Life is messy. Life is unpredictable. Life is relentless. People won't get kinder. Circumstances won't get easier. The world does not pause for your comfort. Yet, most people live as if it should. They treat every inconvenience like an attack. Every argument like a catastrophe. Every delay like the end of the world. That's why they lose control. That's why they panic. That's why they explode. Here's the truth. Chaos is not a threat. Chaos is a test. Every traffic jam. Every rude comment. Every missed deadline. Every financial hiccup. These aren't attacks on you. They are laboratories for your composure. Chaos is the classroom. Calm is the lesson. Calm people understand this immediately. They don't wait for life to be convenient to exercise mastery. They train in discomfort. They perform in disorder. They thrive under pressure. Think about athletes. They don't train on game day. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They practice under fatigue. They train in noise. They simulate pressure. That's exactly what life does. Every chaotic moment is an opportunity to flex the calm you have cultivated. Every disruption is a chance to demonstrate mastery. And mastery is not passive. Mastery is deliberate. Mastery is being unshakable while everyone else crumbles. Let's talk about the biology behind this. When chaos arrives, your body reacts first. Heart rate spikes. Breathing accelerates. Muscles tighten. Your nervous system goes into fight or flight. Most people interpret this as the signal to react. Most people let the body drive the mind. Most people lose. Calm people do the opposite. They notice the signal. They observe the tension. They engage the breath. They anchor the posture. They slow the reaction. They use biology as a tool, not a tyrant. Control your body, control the storm. Now, let's break down the mindset shift you must make. Step 1. Stop labeling chaos as personal. The rude coworker isn't attacking your worth. The delayed project isn't proof of incompetence. The criticism isn't a measure of your value. Step 2. Reframe the moment as a test. Ask yourself, what will I practice right now? Which skill am I strengthening? Which part of my calm can I exercise in this disruption? Step 3. Act from mastery, not panic. Respond deliberately. Speak clearly. Move steadily. You have a choice: react like everyone else or act like someone who has prepared for the storm. Here's a practical example. Imagine a client misses a critical deadline. Most people panic, raise their voice, send angry emails, or stew silently. The chaos escalates. Tension spreads. Productivity drops. Everyone loses. A calm person? They pause. They breathe. They assess. They decide the next best step, not the most emotional step. They communicate clearly. They hold the frame. The storm passes, but they remain unshaken. Repetition is key here. You don't practice calm in comfort. You practice calm in discomfort. You don't wait for perfect circumstances. You practice when things are messy, chaotic, and unpredictable. Every argument is a rehearsal. Every mistake is a drill. Every unexpected problem is a test. And every time you choose calm over reaction, the lesson becomes permanent. Chaos is the classroom. Calm is the lesson. Let's examine the mental strategies that reinforce this. Neutral labeling. Stop using emotional adjectives. Instead of "this is horrible," say "this is happening." Instead of "this is unfair," say "this is a challenge to navigate." It's subtle, but it rewires the brain away from panic. Internal separation. You are not the chaos. You are the observer. Feelings and events happen to you, not through you. This distance allows space for strategy instead of reaction. Anchor points. Physical cues, posture, breath, voice tone, remind you of control. Chaos can be wild. Your body cannot be. Anchor your biology first. Everything else follows. Here's the difficult truth: the world will never stop testing you. No matter how disciplined you are, life will always present challenges. The economy will shift. People will disappoint. Emergencies will arrive. Your calm cannot be conditional. It cannot depend on convenience. Your calm must be unshakable. Your mastery must be non-negotiable. That's what separates the prepared from the reactive. That's what separates leaders from followers. That's what separates the calm from the frantic. Here's a behavioral exercise you can start today. Identify one source of chaos in your life: work, home, social media, traffic. Observe your first reaction the next time it occurs. Don't intervene yet. Just notice. Pause. Anchor your body. Engage slow breathing. Choose one deliberate action, no matter how small, that reflects calm mastery. Reflect immediately after. What worked? What did your body reveal? What can you practice next time? Do this consistently. Every day. Every disruption. Every time you succeed, the nervous system learns. Every time, calm becomes habit. Let's reinforce the truth with an example from history. Think of the great leaders under pressure: generals in battle, CEOs in crisis, first responders in disaster. They are calm not because they are fearless. They are calm because chaos is expected. They've prepared. They've trained. They know every disruption is a test. They don't panic. They observe. They assess. They act. And that is mastery. Remember the repetition phrase. Chaos is the classroom. Calm is the lesson. Say it. Internalize it. Live it. Let every disruption remind you, life is a test, not a threat. Your peace is not contingent on circumstances. Your composure is earned in every moment of disorder. Here's your final mental drill. Next time someone insults you, delays you, challenges you, or surprises you, pause. Breathe. Anchor your posture. Observe the chaos. Ask, what is this teaching me? What skill am I practicing? What calm am I reinforcing? You have a choice. You always have a choice. React like everyone else. Or act like the person who has trained for the storm. The storm will come. It will always come. But now you know the truth. Chaos is not your enemy. Chaos is the teacher. Calm is the skill. Mastery is the result. You've learned the lesson. Now it's time to integrate it fully. Energy management, the last chapter of Unshakable Calm. Chapter 10, Master the Inner Voice, Master the World. The loudest battle you will ever face is not outside. It is not with your coworkers, your family, your enemies, or the world. The loudest war is inside your own mind. If your inner dialogue is chaotic, noisy, or reactive, the world will always feel hostile. Your external circumstances are mirrors of your internal state. A storm outside will feel like a tsunami if your mind is untrained. The key principle of unshakable calm: master the inner voice, and you master the world. Everything begins with the words you allow inside your head. Let's be clear, this isn't about positive thinking. It isn't about motivational platitudes. It's about self-command, discipline, and deliberate mental architecture. Right now, your brain runs on autopilot. Your thoughts react to every insult, delay, disappointment, or inconvenience. This autopilot is chaos disguised as thought. And autopilot is your enemy. You must intervene. You must take command. You must speak inside your own mind as a general speaks to an army, with authority, clarity, and purpose. Repetition phrase: calm begins where inner noise ends. Step 1. Identify the internal chatter. Notice the words that loop in your mind. Are they anxious? fearful, judgmental, reactive? Most people live in this loop 24/7. They respond to their own noise more than the actual world. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Notice it. Name it. Neutralize it. Example, you receive criticism at work. Autopilot says, "They're wrong. I can't believe they said that. What if I fail?" Notice that thought. Don't fight it. Don't attach to it. Label it, "This is my autopilot reacting." Then choose a deliberate response. "Thank you for the feedback. I'll handle this calmly." Control the inner narrative, and the outer situation becomes manageable. Step 2. Command your inner dialogue. Your mind is like a room full of chatter. The louder you let it get, the less you hear yourself. The calmer you enforce it, the more power you hold. Practical method: speak to yourself clearly, concisely, and deliberately. I am in control. I respond with precision. I act from strategy, not emotion. Do not allow thoughts to drift into panic, doubt, or complaint. Discipline your mental language as you would your physical environment. Example, an elite athlete visualizes the game before it happens. Every imagined play is deliberate, structured, and calm. Chaos is present, but the inner voice remains focused. This is mastery. Step 3. Reduce inner noise with focus. Multitasking, distractions, social media, and constant stimulus feed inner chaos. The mind cannot remain calm if it is pulled in 10 directions. Structure your mental environment. Set boundaries. Decide what thoughts deserve attention and which ones do not. Repetition phrase: calm begins where inner noise ends. Repeat it daily. Repeat it every time your mind spins. Let it anchor you. Let it be your mental compass. Step 4. Use deliberate language, not reactive language. The words you think shape the emotions you feel. "I can't handle this" produces stress. "This is manageable, and I will respond deliberately" produces composure. Do not underestimate the power of verbal precision. Command words guide the nervous system. Chaos in language equals chaos in perception. Discipline in language equals discipline in action. Here's a real-world example. Imagine a heated meeting. The voices around you are loud. Opinions clash. Tension spikes. A chaotic mind responds with panic, defensiveness, or overreaction. An unshakable mind responds internally: observe, assess, respond with clarity. The same chaos unfolds, but the impact is completely different. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Your inner voice can escalate panic, or it can anchor composure. Conclusion: you've now learned the real psychology of unshakable calm. It's not about pretending you're unaffected. It's about mastering the gap between stimulus and response. It's about learning that control is not something the world gives you, it's something you reclaim every single second. When everyone else reacts, you remain deliberate. When everyone else rushes, you stay steady. When everyone else panics, you think. That's not luck. That's discipline. That's training. That's self-command. The world doesn't need more people who scream louder. It needs people who think clearer. Be the one who thinks clearer. Be the calm in every storm. Because calm isn't weakness. Calm is the highest form of strength. Your challenge now. Spend the next 7 days responding slower, breathing deeper, and observing before reacting. Master that, and you'll never lose control again.